Well, it goes back quite a way now. I was lucky enough to join Peter back in, I think it was 2004, still in the early days of Windcraft, the company he was building then. And we had a fantastic 13 years introducing the Hanse and then the Daysailer and Moody brand to Australia. They were good years. Peter sold the business. I stayed on for a couple of years with the new owner, but then I had to go back to England to be with my mother. So I've had 4 years out of the boating industry. Gee, it's good to be back, and very good timing because Peter had just started this new company, Carbon Yachts, and got a couple of spectacular brands. I'm very happy to be back selling the boats that he chooses. Apart from their beauty, there's a lot that sets them apart. Saffier is really quite unique. A factory that builds exclusively daysailers, yet they're building already over 120 a year. It makes them by miles the biggest daysailor factory in the world. And they really keep up with the times. They keep their eye on advances in design and technology, and they're constantly evolving their design. So although they began with what was beautiful classics, they've kept those classic looks, but brought them into a much more contemporary, modern boat. They plan ahead, they're very strategic. They've brought out 4 new models in the last 5 years, which is quite extraordinary for a small boat building company. Well, it's a day sailor. You're just out sailing for the day, and that is all about the cockpit. You don't need to worry about what's down below. You don't need cabins or anything. You just need a few essentials like a toilet and a fridge to keep your drinks in. But everything is about life in the cockpit. Part of the ethos of Saffier design is that all their boats must be able to be sailed by just one person. And that's part of the beauty of owning a little daysailor, is that you can use it spontaneously. You can look out of the window and think, oh, that looks great for a sail, walk down the dock. You don't need a crew, you don't need to be an expert, you don't need to dedicate a whole day to your sail. It's just for the sheer joy of going out and enjoying being on the water. But with these beautiful big cockpits, you know, you can take a crowd, whether they're sailors or not. It's just to have fun with the family and be out on the water. Having electric drive really complements just the sheer joy of moving along the water under the power of sails. All sailors love that moment they switch the engine off because it becomes peaceful. On a Saffier, it's peaceful right from the moment. The electric engines are so quiet, and you only need to get beyond the moorings. This really shows how Saffier are constantly looking to advances in technology, the way the market's going and what the customers want. So to have an engine that isn't noisy and polluting makes the sailing even more enjoyable. And of course there are performance benefits too. The SE27, for example, the electric torpedo is 70% lighter than a comparable diesel engine would be, and that saves 100 kilos in weight. Well, from what we've seen already, it seems to be very across the board. The Saffier here, it's definitely sailors, people who know sailing, who've owned lots of boats. They can see, immediately they can see, apart from wow, they think what a beautiful boat it is, they can see that this boat will give them that sailing joy, that performance, but including the freedom of being small, not needing crew, easy to maintain. So I think it'll attract perhaps people even, you know, wanting to get into sailing, wanting something that's very modern and easy to use. And then at the other end, people perhaps stepping out of racing. People, they like to be outside in the cockpit, go for a sail on one of our wonderful waterways and then come back home. Well, we're biased because this is the one that Peter owns and we've all been sailing and got to love, but really it does seem to be the ideal size. 33 foot in Australia doesn't sound big, but this is a very long 33 foot with this huge cockpit. You know, Peter is just loving it. He takes his family out, he goes out on his own, goes with a crew. It's a very exciting little boat to sail. Saffier certainly are winning a lot of awards. The big one, the European Yacht of the Year award, that cannot be underestimated. It's truly a big deal, I think, the Oscar of the boating world. And Saffier, in the last 5 years, to be nominated for 4, let alone win 2 of those 4, is just incredible. And now the new 24 Light, that has been nominated and is currently being judged, and the awards will be announced in January. Well, for many of the reasons that we've been talking about, really, and in Europe the brand is incredibly well trusted and admired. For example, the newest model, the 24 Light, sold an astonishing 36 orders, I think it was, they took in the first month just after announcing it. I would say, for a company on the move like Saffier is, I would say watch this space.